Hello and welcome to the Real Positive Girl podcast. My name is Sabrina. Thank you so much for listening, downloading, sharing the show. I truly appreciate it. I just love how people are continuing to love and enjoy the show. And if you do love and enjoy the show, and if you are able to leave a 5-star review or to just leave some sort of uplifting comment or interesting description of the show from your point of view on whatever podcast platform you listen to the show, I would greatly appreciate it. That would just help bring more people into listening to the show and give me the opportunity to help even more people. So if you were able to do that, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you wanted to come by and just chat with me and connect with me on Instagram, I am at Sabrina Joy Perozzo, or you're welcome to send me an email as well. All of that information is in the description box, along with all the notes for the show. But again, I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you downloading and sharing the show. So let's get right into the episode. Thanks so much, guys. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Real Positive Girl podcast with me, Sabrina. Happy Friday to you all. I hope that you're having a fantastic day and you're ready to dive into the weekend. I am ready to dive into the weekend, even though I go back to work today for the first time in almost 2 whole work weeks. And then I'm ready for the weekend. It's like that whole weird thing of needing a vacation from your vacation, time to recover. Vacation was great, but I just need some time to unpack and wash all the laundry, and I did buy food, you know what I mean? So anyway, I'm looking forward to the weekend, get my life together, and then feeling so good on Monday. But today is Friday, so still gotta pull it together. I'm sure you know what I mean. This week we are talking about my favorite daily affirmations, and today, Friday, we are going to end the week talking about I deserve to be respected. But before we jump into that, I want to remind you of the 5-minute reset. If you find that you are having a hard time, you're having a hard day, stressful situations, I can tell you for a fact that I yesterday had a crying spell because for whatever random reason, my cat decided to scratch on our beautiful brand new couch, and I fell into tears, which sounds very crazy and irrational, and it kind of was, but it was also a big deal for me because it's the first couch we ever bought that's brand new as an adult couple, so you know what I mean. So it was very emotional. And anyway, if you have irrational feelings like that, or you're just having a really hard time, rough interactions with other people, or things just seem to be falling apart, you're riding the hot mess express, you can do the 5-minute reset. It allows you to just kind of draw a line in the sand right then and there and just kind of start your day over right there. Leave everything else behind. Realize that you do not want to take it with you. You don't want to drag it with you throughout your day. You want to just leave it behind, understand that it happened, learn what you can from it, but then move forward, not let it continue to drag you down. And so the 5-minute reset, all you need to do is find at least 5 minutes to be by yourself. More time is great, but if you only have 5 minutes, that's great too. It'll allow you to take a break from any issues, burdens, problems that are dragging you down. You get to reset, reboot, restart your day right then and there. You can also take some time to come up with a resolution for any problems or issues that you're dealing with, whether it involves other people or not. And I always encourage everyone to come up with a list of at least 4 things that you're grateful for, big, small, or medium size. You can be grateful that you were able to save a little bit extra money this month and you have a savings plan going forward. That's something to be grateful for. If you're planning something, maybe you are grateful that you actually have some exciting thing planned soon, something to look forward to. I totally get that. Maybe you're grateful that you were able to reach out and help someone that is in need. I know about the horrible things that are happening to those that have endured the snowstorm, the winter storm in Texas, and if you're able to reach out and help someone there or someone else that is in crisis, there are so many hard situations happening in our country and around the world as a whole. So if you felt like you were able to reach out and help someone, whether it's donating or giving your time and energy or whatever it is, that's amazing. And that is something to be grateful for. And, or maybe you're grateful that you're able to volunteer in your own home, like hometown or community and neighborhood, and spend time with others that are lonely or suffering in some sort of way, or you found a way to raise money, whatever it is. You can literally be grateful for anything, because you can be grateful for all those things that I mentioned. You can be grateful for just the shoes on your feet and the clothes on your back. You can be grateful that you are finally getting interviews for jobs. If you've, been between jobs for a while because of the pandemic, you can be grateful for just having some downtime at home with nothing to do at all because you feel like you've been overworked because maybe you still had a job, but you had to pick up the extra slack because there's not as many employees. There's so many wonderful things you can be grateful for. And then last but not least, make sure that you're feeling at least neutral, if not positive, about the rest of your day, because hopefully creating your gratitude list and just pushing yourself to reflect more on the positive blessings in your life, despite what negative things may be trying to bring you down, you'll realize that by focusing more on the positives, it'll help you get through those negative times, not diminishing what you're going through at all whatsoever, but really just acknowledging that by not focusing all your energy on those negative things, like that's not going to change anything. It's really just trying to find a way to move forward and make the best of the situation is what's going to actually help. But I do hope that on this Friday you are having a good day. And like I said at the top, we are talking about my favorite daily affirmations this week. And today, Friday, we are going to end this week's topic by talking about the affirmation, I deserve to be respected. So I know that some people believe that respect needs to be earned, but I do not believe this. I do not. And that might be controversial. Some of you may disagree with me, which is fine. It's great. It's great to learn from each other, even if we disagree and believe different things. I feel like that is the beauty in a world where we're all different. We're all good at certain things and we can all learn from each other, but we can still continue to learn from each other and um, communicate and come together, even if we're not all on the same page or don't believe the same things. We can still continue to learn from each other. So, I do not believe this. I do not believe it. I know that you could possibly gain more respect from others when showing your strengths and achievements. Some may think of that as like proving yourself. I personally don't think you need to necessarily prove yourself. And I feel like that's like a gray line there because, when you go into a new job and you feel like you do need to prove yourself, and sure, I believe in that, but I feel like it's more of like a demonstration of your strengths, what you're good at what you can achieve, how quickly you can learn and adapt and realize any sort of mistakes and faults and, correct those courses. I feel like it's not as negative as saying you have to prove yourself, like you're desperate to show yourself as better than everyone else. I feel like there's kind of a negative connotation in that, but take it for what you will. I know you can possibly gain more respect from others by showing your strengths and achievements, but there should always be a level of respect from anyone. I believe that we should all be respecting each other no matter what, whether you know them or you don't. I feel like that is the kind and nice and accepting thing to do, is to just respect everyone. And, unless something happens and someone loses your respect, but I feel like even the people that we don't like, that we don't care for, that aren't our favorite people, we still need to show them a level of respect because everyone deserves to be respected. And I honestly believe that by you showing everyone respect, despite what the relationship or the experience with that person is, you are demonstrating your ability to be an adult, being a grown up, and to be mature and understand that, again, you don't have to like everyone. You don't have to get along with everyone. You don't have to believe all the same things. And you can have disagreements and arguments and even just not like that person at all, but still respect them and realize that they are still a human being. They just still deserve kindness and respect and forgiveness and love and care. And maybe you're not like in the position to show them the love, but you're still able to show them like forgiveness and, a kind word and maybe a smile, or maybe you're just going to avoid them at all, but you're not going to talk bad about them. You're not going to talk down to them. You're not going to try to, you know, enact any sort of like negative things on their life, because that's just not the mature thing to do. It's also not going to bring any positivity to your life. You're really just trying to push them down more, like pushing, like stomping on them. But that's just going to really make you feel worse in the end. I feel like that was kind of a tangent, but I feel like it was important for me to say. So let's move on. But yeah, there should always be a level of respect from anyone, and you should also be giving that. And I know this isn't actually what happens all the time in real life, right? I understand that. That's why I'm mentioning it. But it's what should be happening. And I think that if we continue to push forward in our lives to figure out how we can continually give each other respect, hopefully over time, I know that we don't live in a utopia, but hopefully over time we can work to do that more and more and understand that that's what we should be doing as a whole community. But first off, back to talking about the affirmation, we should always be swimming in self-respect. It's the same practice as most things that I talk about. If you don't respect yourself first, you should not expect others to do the same. So it's like whatever the thing is that you want other people to do to you, you have to do it to yourself first. You have to, because why would anyone respect you or show you care, love, kindness, whatever, if you are not doing it for yourself, right? Now, there are definitely people, as I've spoken about before in previous episodes, that will still show you all these things, whether you show it to yourself or not. However, that is not going to fix the problem, as I've mentioned before, and use that as a placeholder. Like, okay, well, since someone else is doing it, I don't have to do it. Like, that's not how it works, because like it or not, those people, they may be in your life forever or they may not, right? And you can't count on that. You can't count on someone else doing a job that you need to do for yourself, because they may not be in your life the whole time. Not everyone is meant to be in our life forever. I learned that the hard way, and it's sad. It's a bummer, but that's just how real life is. Some people are only supposed to be in your life for a season, a couple seasons, and some people you're kind of like ride or dies, like they're going to be there the whole time. But you can't bank on it, because life is unpredictable, and we just need to be there taking care of ourselves. And I feel like if we're all out there taking care of ourselves, so we can help take care of other people more, it's an amazing like circle of completeness of love. So you have to, work on your own self-respect. It's the same practice as I've been talking about for everything, but also, if you can't respect yourself, you shouldn't expect it to be easy to respect others either, right? It's like both sides. You can't expect someone to respect you if you don't respect yourself. And how do you expect yourself to respect someone else well enough if you don't even know how to do it for yourself, right? How are you supposed to love someone else if you don't love yourself? Yeah, it makes sense. Like, think about it. And if you have never thought about that, I think you should take a moment to think about it, see if it applies to you, see if it's something that you're struggling with, you just didn't realize what it was, like how to think of it in that way. That could help you. That could help you understand yourself a little bit better, practice some self-awareness. Try it out. Might be helpful, maybe not. But you have to do it for yourself first. Then you can do it for others and expect others to do so also, both ways. It's kind of like you can't pour from an empty glass. You can't. If you're not full up in whatever it is that you're trying to dole out, there will come a point where you will burn out and you will be drained. You'll be empty. You won't be able to give anymore, and it'll be really hard for you to give it to yourself at that point. So you have to really evaluate, like, should you continue on in the way that you are going if you are not even full up for yourself? It's important. It's like that whole thing, when you're on a plane, which I'm sure a lot of us aren't necessarily doing that as often as we were, but when you're on a plane and during the safety brief, they're telling you that you need to put your mask on first before assisting someone else. And that's just the way that life is. You need to make sure that you're taken care of, not in a selfish way, not in a way that's like egotistical or all about you. It's just that you literally cannot help someone else until you deal with your own crap, until you're ready to do it for yourself, because you will try to do it, as I have done for many years. You will try to help other people, but it'll hurt you even more. You're literally tapping into the reserve for yourself. And then once that's gone, you've given it away, you're almost dying. You're like a shell of a person. You're running on fumes, and your car might get stuck on the freeway because you didn't fill up your tank. So, anyway, understand it goes both ways. Goes both ways. So, whether you are telling yourself this affirmation because you want to practice more self respect, or you are assuring yourself that you do deserve respect from others, whether or not you are currently receiving it, it's a great way to remind yourself that respect is important to you. And I think it's honestly important to everyone. Everyone, deep down, whether you want to admit it or not, wants to be respected. And well, we all should want to respect others. So if that is something you're struggling with, yes, you should want to respect others. Again, despite what they have done to you, despite what they have said, despite what your experiences are with other people, you should still show them respect. You should understand that that is the better thing to do. It's the stronger thing to do. Kindness, forgiveness. Think about what Jesus would do. And I know it sounds really cheesy, but it's true. He would still show them respect. So it's important to understand that, yeah, respect is important to all of us. And that is why I wanted to bring up this affirmation. It's kind of why I wanted to leave it for the end of the week, because I kind of wanted to leave you on like a stronger note of like, really think about this, because maybe you haven't put respect as important before, and maybe you want to adjust that now. If you are having trouble practicing self-respect, I encourage you to try the following. I'm going to give you like 3 quick suggestions that, I have spoken about in the past, but there's no harm in reminding you. First, remember that what others think of you shouldn't control you. I struggle with this. I've mentioned that every time that I talk about it, and I feel like I'm getting better about it though. But what others think of you shouldn't control you. Those things that they say to you or to others via gossip, which is terrible, those things shouldn't control you, because again, it's their opinion, it's their thoughts, it's whatever they decided to make up in their mind. And whether that is based on something that could be true or not, it still shouldn't control you, because that's what they think. And that doesn't mean that's what you have to think. It's just what they choose to think. And that it shouldn't affect you. I know it can hurt because people say mean words and people say, soul crushing things that are just terrible and make us feel bad about ourselves. But honestly, and this is going to be really tough, but honestly, you should feel bad for them. You should feel bad for them that they have to go through the extent of saying terrible things about you or judgmental things about you to make themselves feel better, or to distance themselves from you because they're feeling insecure about the same things, or they're feeling insecure about whatever they're going through, and they're just projecting those feelings onto you. That's just how it works. Unfortunately, a lot of us get caught in the fire and we feel the pain of that. It's not easy, but it's important that we do understand that they're only opinions and they're based on whatever's going on in their mind, which I've already mentioned many times. A lot of things in your mind aren't true. They're not scripture, Bible. They're not gospel. They're not things that you should hang your hat on all the time. And that goes the same for what's happening in other people's minds as well. In addition, what other people think of you is really none of your business. I love that quote. I think it's a beautiful quote because it really woke me up the first time I heard it. I don't know how many years ago, but it was like, wow, it really isn't, because it's their thoughts. And if they are choosing not to share those with you, but maybe you hear it because of gossip, which is so terrible, then again, it's none of your business, because it's what they think of you. And whether they want to share that with you or not, that is on them. That is their personal thoughts and beliefs, and that has nothing to do with you, right? It's just what they think. It's just like your personal thoughts on like how cool you think your dog is is like your opinion, and someone else may not feel the same, which would be sad. But it just is what it is. It's just none of your business. You just need to move on and understand that it shouldn't control you and it shouldn't hold you back from doing anything you want to do or being who you truly are. And if you do let it, then honestly, you're just hurting yourself and using someone's ammunition. Honestly, someone else's pain to inflict pain on yourself. You shouldn't do that. The second one is don't compromise your own values for others. If you want to respect yourself, you do not want to compromise your values, your morals, your beliefs just to make someone else happy, just to appease someone else. You do not want to cross the boundaries that you've created for yourself just to prove a point or whatever it is. You need to respect the things that you believe that are true to you, that are super important. You need to do that. Do not compromise those things, or else you will never respect yourself. You have to. You have to abide by those things. You have to know that those are important to you because you've decided those things for a reason, and stay strong to those. Even if someone tells you otherwise, those are your morals and beliefs. Stick by them. It's important. It's important to who you are. And the last one I want to suggest is don't speak to yourself negatively. I talk about this all the time. It is so impactful, the negative things and positives that we say to ourselves, but we spend way more time saying negative things than positives, which is why I wanted to bring up this affirmations, and probably soon enough, in a few weeks, I will bring back more affirmations. Honestly, my dream is to have like an affirmation podcast where that's all I talk about, in addition to this one. And I think that'd be a cool idea. But anyway, but yeah, you need to work on speaking to yourself positively. Don't do negatives. Don't tell yourself how terrible you are because, like I always mention, no one else is going to know the terrible things that you say to yourself because you say it to yourself in your mind. So no one's going to be able to jump in and save you from yourself because you're doing it all undercover, you know? And by continually speaking to yourself negatively, you are definitely not respecting yourself. Just as if someone else would come to you directly and speak something negative about you, or even behind your back, that means that they are not respecting you. So you need to work on being more kind to yourself, accepting, understanding, loving, and respectful. And then you'll be able to practice self respect even easier and better. And when you say this affirmation to yourself in the mirror or just quietly to yourself, it will ring even more true. I also want to remind you that you do not have to please everyone or anyone all of the time or most of the time at all. You don't have to. That is not respecting yourself, trying to go out of your way to do that. I understand that if you want to be kind and loving and, make like grand gestures, that's fine. But don't do it to like that it seems like such a burden, that it's just all too much. That's not what it's about. You're not respecting yourself and your boundaries if you are doing that. You also need to know where your boundary line is for being nice and kind to crossing over into being a people pleaser and just doing things for others to earn their respect, their care, attention, love, etc. You really have to understand where your own boundary line is because it can be so easy to cross. Listen to me. I struggle with people pleasing. It's taken years for me to make any progress, and I've made significant progress, but it's really tough. Once you step over that boundary, it can be really hard to come back, especially if you continue to go that direction. It's really hard. And you get so caught up in thinking that all these things that you're doing and supplying for the other person are people, and it's like, it's kind of like related to, when you teach like your dog a trick and you give him a treat, right? it's kind of like you're being taught that, like you are doing the thing that they want you to do, or you believe that they want you to do. They give you the attention, the love, the care, the respect that you want, and that's your reward. You're just playing into a simple reward system when honestly they should be giving you those things without you having to do those things for them, you know? And if they're not, then those are not relationships, whether friendly or romantic or parental or whatever, that you should be involved in. You really shouldn't. I know that's hard to hear and understand and accept, especially if you're caught up in many relationships that are grounded in that kind of reward system where you have to give something to get it and it's not unconditional in any way. That can be really hard to get out of, to let go of, to not understand, especially if you do start to enter a relationship where you're getting those things without having to do it and you feel that guilt of like, wow, I haven't given them anything. Now I got to figure out how to give them the world because they've freely given me all this wonderful love and attention and care and respect. But that's not how it works. And I still struggle with that all the time. I do, even in my marriage, right? My husband is so loving and giving. But there are definitely times where he will give and I will feel like, wow, what do I need to do for you for this? And he's just like, just accept it because I love you and you're amazing. And I'm just like, but I feel like I owe you something. And it's a problem on my end and not in his, He is being kind and generous. And there are times where I'm like that too. I will just freely give and he will freely accept. But it's hard for me to do the other way around. And I know there's other people like that. So understand you have to find that boundary line because if you cross over and you continue to move in that direction, it's so much harder to come back. I'm telling you. So, to end, try this in the mirror today. I deserve to be respected. I deserve to be respected. I deserve to be respected. And say it until you mean it and do it regularly. In the mirror, quietly to yourself, write it in a journal, whatever. But practice it. It'll help. And if it doesn't help at the beginning, you just got to keep trying. I laugh because we like to give up on things early, too soon. We don't like to put the time and effort into things that are hard, difficult, emotional. Ugh, I know. But it's important, okay? So, thank you. That's it. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I appreciate you guys. You guys are amazing. Don't forget, you can check the description box below to, see the notes for the show. Come visit me on Instagram, which is at Sabrina Joy Perozzo. That is my personal account where I share my daily life as a mom, as a person that does e-commerce marketing on Amazon, that does this podcast. I just like to share my everyday life, plus throw in some motivational things. So if you want to come and say hi to me, I'd really appreciate it. I'd love to connect with anyone that enjoys the show. Also, you can send me an email. That's also down there too in the description box. And for either one of those, you can send me any questions, comments, concerns, prayer requests, feedback, topic suggestions, or just to say hey, hi, and hello to me. You guys are fantastic. I am randomly sending out Starbucks gift cards if you connect with me, and I randomly just pick people and I will say, hey, thanks for reaching out. Can I send you a gift card? And people have enjoyed it. So hopefully that gives you an incentive to come say hi and follow me and make a connection. But that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Come back next week. We will talk about something awesome. I don't know what yet, but I'll figure it out. But until next time, have a good one, and I will see you next week, guys. Bye.